kepada Bapak Ibu yang baru saja bergabung bersama kami di sini. Selamat datang di Education Going Digital Webinar Series yang diselenggarakan oleh Mentari Group dan Asta Ilmu Sukses. Sekarang ini kita masih menunggu peserta lainnya untuk bergabung bersama kita. Going Digital Webinar Series presented by Mentari Group and Asta Ilmu Sukses. Now, we are still waiting for the other participants to join our room. Ucapkan selamat datang kepada Bapak Ibu yang baru saja masuk di ruang Zoom meeting ini. Selamat datang di Education Going Digital Webinar Series yang diselenggarakan oleh Mentari Group dan Asta Ilmu Sukses. Dan mohon menunggu karena saat ini kita masih menunggu peserta lainnya ya untuk bergabung bersama kita di ruangan ini. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat datang dan selamat siang kepada Bapak Ibu. afternoon, educators. Welcome to Education Going Digital webinar series presented by Mentari Group and Asta Ilmu Sukses. While waiting for the other participants to join our room, please kindly watch some videos from Mentari Group. Enjoy the video.
Betapa pentingnya guru. Guru adalah pengaruh utama untuk generasi muda. Guru mampu mengubah generasi muda Indonesia. Maukah kamu mengambil peran itu? Mengambil peran penting membangun generasi muda, generasi bangsa. Negara memanggilmu. Jawab panggilan itu.
New Frontiers, an exciting new English course for teens, from beginner to upper intermediate level. New Frontiers is a 6-level ELT course book series for secondary school learners from Compass Publishing. The series is carefully aligned with the Common European Framework of Reference and covers all key language competencies from levels A1 to B2. 1. Each level of New Frontiers features a 10-unit structure of lessons connected by themes and goals. 2. Input and output skills are balanced throughout the course, with individual lessons in every unit dedicated to one of the 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. 3. There is a clear focus on building CEFR competencies, which are listed in the learning aims at the start of each unit. 4. Another key feature of the series are the projects, which concludes every unit These are linked to the theme of the unit and give students an opportunity to apply what they've learned in the previous lessons while practicing 21st century skills. 5. The bold, colorful design and entertaining comics and animations in every unit are sure to grab students' attention. Unit walkthrough. Each unit is built around themes that relate directly to the everyday lives of students, such as sports, entertainment, clothing, friends, or in this case, food. The unit opens with an eye-catching photo and a bold, colorful design engage students. 1. Teachers and students can use the QR code to access all the audio tracks for the unit, which stream directly on their phone or computer. These audio files are also available for download on our website. 2. Easy to understand aims for the unit, focused on everyday language and competencies, with a balance of all 4 language skills. These can occur in any order, but each unit ends with a video and a 21st century skills project. Warm-up questions generate lead-in discussion, activate schema, and personalize the topic for students. The components for this series include a student book, a full-color workbook, and a teacher's guide with extensive class notes and ideas for expansion activities. You can also visit our website to download a full range of supplementary materials to make teaching easier and enrich the learning experience of your students. These include answer keys, word lists, MP3 audio, transcripts, a full range of assessment exams, our in-class presentation tool Teacher's Kit, and an accompanying learning app. If you're looking for a new course book that focuses on CEFR competencies, 21st century skills, and project-based learning with a communicative approach and balanced instruction in all 4 language skills, try New Frontiers. New Frontiers. Explore your world. For more information.
Dear educators, now we are going to play Mentari Group March atau Mars Mentari Group. Mars ini sangat menggambarkan apa yang Mentari Group percaya, Mentari Group kerjakan, dan tentunya hidupi setiap hari. Kami sangat berharap melalui Mars ini, Bapak dan Ibu dapat lebih mengenal Mentari Group. Mari kita dengarkan bersama Mars Mentari Group.
Insan mentari, hai ini waktumu mengabdi bangsa lewat pendidikan. Berangkat dari visi misi luhur, kami datang untuk membangun negeri, berani bermimpi dan terus berkreasi, mau dan sanggup menjadi yang terbaik, cakap cepat cerdas selai, itu adalah kami, berdarah terbaik, itulah nafas kami, untuk Indonesia kami berkarya, bangun pendidikan, majukan bangsa.
Terima kasih. Good afternoon, educators. Welcome to Education Going Digital webinar series presented by Mentari Group and Asta Ilmu Sukses. This program is created to be a platform for educators across Indonesia to share and grow together. And today we are having the 3rd webinar of Education Going Digital series, and the agenda will cover the topic setting up an impactful and profitable online English courses, learning from South Korea's experience. And for 2 hours ahead, me, Ocha, will lead this agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are having 144 participants in this Zoom meeting room. And we also have other participants joining us by live streaming. And the participants are educators all across Indonesia. Luar biasa sekali ya Bapak Ibu. Bahkan yang lebih luar biasanya lagi, trainer kita hari ini, Mr. John Edwards, sekarang ada di Korea Selatan dan hadir bersama kita. Sungguh bersyukur sekali karena teknologi dapat mempersatukan kita semua hari ini. Baik, before we start our agenda, let me inform you of some regulations for our webinar. The first one is, during the agenda, participants' microphone will be off or muted. And the second one, we will have 2 sessions of Q&A. It's in the middle of the sharing session and also at the end of the session. And if you have any question, you may use the raise hand feature in the participant column. Jadi apabila Bapak Ibu ingin bertanya di saat sesi tanya jawab, Bapak Ibu bisa menggunakan fitur raise hand yang ada pada bagian partisipan. Ada tombolnya di bagian bawah ya. And then during the Q&A sessions, I will choose 2 lucky people for each session to deliver their question to the trainer. And the chosen participants will have their microphone unmuted. And ladies and gentlemen, before we start our agenda, I would like to invite Mr. Tri Turturi as Chief Operating Officer of Mentari Group to deliver opening remarks. Please welcome Mr. Tri Turturi.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ocha. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, teachers. It's a pleasure to have you all joining our webinar session this afternoon. This is, the 3rd webinar that we organized. The first one we did, I think, a week ago for kindergarten teachers. And just last Friday, we organized for the teachers from high schools and professional schools. And today, I think we're going to focus on giving the session exclusively, for teachers, mainly those that teach the English at private language courses or private language schools. I mean, for so long in Indonesia, the role of private language courses, private language schools, have been significant in helping the students to take extra classes outside of their school's hours. I mean, we understand that parents demand so much, for their kids and to help them acquire good English education. I think not just taking the lessons from the schools, but many parents in Indonesia also send the kids, to take English courses from private language schools. Unfortunately, I think as what we have witnessed in the last 3 months, I think from March to 2020, we witnessed the fact that many language courses in Indonesia have to stop their operations since, the schools were not allowed to conduct classes. So students were avoided, to come to the language courses, to take extra English classes. So, and we discussed, this problem with the partners that we are working with. And one of them, of course, in the Compass Publishing, which, we are very happy to have the speaker joining with us today, Mr. John Edwards, sitting in South Korea. And thanks to the technology, he's able to share the lessons from South Korea that we hope going to be useful and beneficial for schools, especially the language courses in Indonesia, because we understand that the online courses, online English courses actually are not something new in South Korea. They have been there, for a number of years. And we do hope that, the success of online English courses implementation in South Korea could be probably replicated in Indonesia. It means that the new normal doesn't mean that the private language schools have to always stop their classes. We hope that through the solutions that we do provide with the interactive English programs delivered online, we expect, that our partners coming from private language schools could continue their operations, during this new normal era. So I'm once again, on behalf of Mentari Group, I really wish to I wish you enjoy, the session this afternoon. I extend my biggest gratitude once again to all of you to spend your time this afternoon with us today. I hope that you find this session this afternoon going to be useful and enjoyable. Thank you very much. And now I hand over back to Ms. Ocha, to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tri, for the opening remarks. And just like what Mr. Tri has said, that technology that we are all connected now, even with Mr. John Edwards, a United Kingdom citizen, which is now based in South Korea. And dear educators, without any further ado, let's start our session by watching our trainer's video profile. Educators, please welcome Mr. John Edwards.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Hi from South Korea. I'm very happy that you're all here today, and I hope you get a lot out of the seminar and some useful ideas to use. If you're an administrator, I hope you get some ideas for planning online classes. And if you're a teacher, I hope you get some ideas for conducting your classes and keeping your students engaged. This is a difficult time for everyone, and I hope I can at least give you some hope that it's possible since we have done online classes for a little while in South Korea, and hopefully our experience can be some help to you. So I'll just share my screen, just give me a moment. So my presentation is called Impactful Online English Courses. And I'll just start by trying to greet everyone in Bahasa. Selamat siang, Bapak dan Ibu Guru.
Thank you, Mr. John. Selamat siang. That's great.
How did I do? I've been practicing a lot, so.
That sounds very wonderful.
Okay, let's begin. So the agenda for today, I'm going to give you a short introduction about our company. Then I'm going to talk about online ELT courses in general and some of the solutions that the Korean market has come up with. I'll give you some tips and tricks for online teaching. Then I'll talk about some digital solutions from Compass Publishing. We'll talk about two. I'll introduce one called ClassBox. Then we'll have a Q&A session. And then I'll introduce the second one called BigBox. And then I'll talk about a few series that we have produced for different ages of students. And then we'll have a second Q&A session. So let's jump right in. So a little bit about our company. We are based in Seoul, South Korea, but we are actually a global company. We were founded in 1999, so we've been operating for about 20 years. And we started with a very small catalog of materials, but we've slowly, over the years, we've developed our own materials, and we've developed an extensive catalog of products from kindergarten level all the way up to adult level. And we have all kinds of products, including course books for all levels, skill books covering all 4 skills. We've got a wide selection of about 700 readers in different series. We've got test prep books that cover mostly ETS tests like TOEIC and TOEFL. And we've also got some ESP books like for hospitality and business and tourism. And we export our products to 40 countries, more than 40 countries around the world. So we're very busy. We have a small team, but we have a global reach. So we're quite busy people. Over the last approximately 5 or 6 years, we've been transitioning from being a pure print company, a company that makes only print products, to being an edutech company. So we started with making some support materials for our print products. So we have lots of blended solutions. But more recently, like in the last 3 or 4 years, we've developed some pure digital solutions, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those today. So I guess most of you might miss your classroom quite a lot. It's been in Korea, we started with COVID-19. The situation started in late January. We were one of the early one of the first countries to be affected outside of China. And we had a kind of rapid infection rate. And that happened early in February. And because of that, the government made a decision to shut down all of the schools and delay the start of the school year. So that was very significant. And we have just recently started opening the schools. But still, they're doing predominantly online classes in the schools. A lot of the private language institutes have also moved to online classes or a combination of online and offline. But I guess most of us as teachers didn't anticipate that we would be doing mostly, interacting with our devices, working from a home office or working from school, and we don't see our students as much as we usually did. So a lot of teachers are struggling to adapt to this new situation. Fortunately, most of our students are young and they've grown up with digital devices and they're very tech savvy. They know about technology very well and they adapt very quickly because they're very digitally literate. And dealing with online content is their preferred means of communicating with their friends, with their teachers, with each other, and also with their preferred method of accessing content. So most of them would rather look at YouTube videos or read articles online rather than opening a book. And also for entertainment as well. So that's the good thing about this situation. Most of our students can adapt more easily perhaps than we can. But the real problem is that we're, as educators and as people who are planning programs, a lot of us are trying to fit the old ways of educating into this new paradigm, this new situation. We're trying to do the same kinds of planning. We're planning our classes in the same ways. We're sort of stuck in a box where we have, some of us have been teaching for 15, 20 years. And so we have very set ways of doing things. And now all of a sudden we have to adapt to a very different kind of situation. So we're using the same kinds of planning, the same kinds of methods and materials. We're trying to use the same curriculum and the same pacing for our courses. And that's not really anybody's fault. It's just a factor from the situation itself. We have not had time to adapt to the new paradigm. But the real problem is that if we try to force this old way of educating into this new system, it's likely to be ineffective. It's likely to not be effective for teaching our students. So if we think about, why that is, a lot of the new situation that we are in, the factors of the new paradigm are very, very different from the traditional learning environment. In the traditional learning environment, we had larger class sizes. We could accommodate, 20, 25, 35, 40 students, and the teacher could still manage that kind of class. But in the online environment, when you have 40 students in an online seminar, that's very difficult to manage. It's very difficult to do different kinds of activities, very difficult to make everyone feel included and participate actively. So that's the reality that we're dealing with. Because they were all in the same classroom, in the same space and time, there was lots of opportunities for peer interaction for students to do different kinds of activities like pair work, small group work. Also for the teachers to do monitoring, to look over the students' shoulders, see how they're doing, when they're doing pair work or group work, to circulate around the classroom and see how each pair is doing. That's more challenging with online environment. Also, the teacher could offer immediate and direct teacher guidance so that you can see right away if the students need assistance, and you can offer correction, error correction, or assistance with vocabulary, this kind of thing. Also, one of the realities is we had a dedicated space and we had physical resources that were there and available in the classroom. Like maybe you had an extensive reading program with readers that students could select, or you had a language lab, these kinds of things. So these are the things that we had in the traditional learning environment that we have to kind of accommodate. We have to make new accommodation for in the online environment. But it's not all, the situation is not all bad. We have both pros and cons for remote learning. So the good thing is that it's accessible anytime, anywhere. Usually classes are recorded and they're available to students to review. So this is something that they couldn't do before. They couldn't easily review an audio recording or video recording of their class. Also, they couldn't attend classes, any time of the day and from anywhere. For a lot of online classes, they may be at least partially self-paced. That means, some parts of the class may be the student can regulate how quickly or slowly they're doing them, and they can do them at their own pace according to their own skill level. In terms of the cons, the negatives, like we already mentioned, there's much less social interaction, much less student-teacher interaction. There's no dedicated space, and there's much less support and supervision. So this is something that as teachers and also program administrators, we need to try to make accommodation for this, probably with a lot more sort of attention on communication. So there's 9 different options. There's 9 different kinds of considerations that we can think about when we're planning an online class. The first one is the modality. The modality means, is it going to be a pure online class? Is it going to be something that's only available online? Or is it going to be a blended online-offline class? And what is the ratio of online to offline? This is something to consider. Some of you, may have, some of the schools, I'm not sure about the situation in Indonesia, but some of the schools may be allowed to open in some areas, or they may be allowed to open partially, or, as the situation changes, that may gradually change. So this is something we need to think about, what's available in terms of the modality for the online class. Also, second option is in terms of the pacing. Is it something that is self-paced, that the students control in terms of how quickly or how slowly they are studying? Or is it something that is controlled by the class, like they have a schedule that they have to keep up with? So the pacing is another issue. Some classes that I've taken online are completely self-paced. You can finish them as quickly or as slowly as you want. Another consideration is the student-teacher ratio. Some classes are conducted with 1-to-1 a ratio of student to teacher, but I think most of you, for most programs, that's not really economically viable. So probably something more like 1-to-8, 1-to-10, 1-to-15. That's more feasible for an online language class, especially one that involves speaking and listening or free talking, this kind of thing. Some other types of classes that are more sort of self-paced and more pure online, some of them, like in Udemy or Coursera, this kind of platform, they are, one teacher to infinite number of students. They can run the class for any number of students. But anyway, this is another consideration that we have to try to balance the student-teacher ratio. The fourth option available is the pedagogy, the type of pedagogy. That could be expository, where the teacher is talking, the teacher is communicating the information, the students are mostly just listening. It could be practical, where the students have to do something, like they have to do some projects, for example, and then they discover the learning objectives through the project. Or it could be exploratory, where the teacher assigns a question for the students to research. Or it could be collaborative, where the students are working together to find the answers. The fifth category, or the fifth option for online learning, is the role of the instructor. In some classes, the teacher's role, the instructor's role, is very active. They're involved in communicating actively with the students. They're running classes, like live interactive classes, every day or every three or four times a week. Other classes, there's much more restricted role for the teacher, like they just mark assignments, or they just have one class a week. And other classes, like Udemy or Coursera, they have very, very restricted or no instructor role. The sixth consideration is in terms of the student role. Are students studying independently? Are they just doing this completely on their own? Or are they working together as in small groups or teams, or as a class? So how much interaction do they have? This is something else that you need to think about when you're planning an online class. The seventh consideration is in terms of the type of communication. So we call this communication synchrony. Synchrony here means, is it real time? Is it synchronous? That means, are students and teachers able to talk to each other in an interactive, real-time way? Or is it asynchronous, like they are sending messages back and forth, for example, with email, with recorded messages, with videos? Or is it a mixture of the two? So the type of communication between student and teacher and between students is something you have to think about. And the last two considerations are just about how you do assessments. Assessments could be done in an automated way, where they're just taking sort of interactive, for example, like Google Forms, for example. They're just clicking on Google Forms and it automatically grades them. Or the teacher could be providing feedback, or they could be providing feedback to each other, the students could. So these are the 9 considerations that you have for when you're planning an online learning class: the modality, the pacing, how fast or slow, and whether it's self-paced or class-paced, the student-teacher ratio, the type of pedagogy, the role of the instructor and the student, the type of communication, whether it's asynchronous or synchronous, and the type of assessment and how they are used. When the Korean Ministry of Education gave their guidelines to the schools for how to conduct online classes, they had this model, this 3 kind of class types, and this learning flow, which I think is very simple, but it's very effective. I think it nicely organizes the types of options that you have available. So I just wanted to kind of describe that a little bit. So there's 3 types of classes, and teachers can use them in any kind of combination, but one recommendation was that they should follow a kind of a flow. The first type of class is the content-oriented class. That's where teachers assign some kind of content. It could be a pre-recorded lecture, or it could be a video that they watch, could be an audio passage. The students either watch it on their own, or they watch it as a group and they have some discussion while they're watching it or after they watch it. So this is the content-oriented class. You could do this as in a way where it's sort of flipped learning. So flipped learning here means they see the content before the actual class, and then in the actual class, they're doing more sort of communicative type activities. So content-oriented class is first. The second type of class is the real-time interactive class. This is where students and teachers might use Zoom or Google Meet or this kind of platform to have a discussion about the content. And this is where the teacher can check, do concept checking and check whether the students really have understood clearly. And it's also an opportunity for the students to interact with each other, to practice learning points, to have more communicative type activities. The third type of class is the task-oriented class. This is where, this is sort of a follow-up to the real-time interactive class. And this is where the teacher assigns some task. Could be a writing task, could be a task for the students to prepare something, to record a video. And the intention here is for students to, it's to enable student self-learning. So this teacher assigns this, they collect it, and then they provide feedback. So through this kind of flow, I think it's a very, very simple but very effective way to kind of break down the types of classes and how they could be used together to create a learning flow with content-oriented class, real-time interactive class, and task-oriented class. I just wanted to give you some tips in terms of how to run classes more effectively. The first tip is a lot of us as teachers, we're very concerned about how we are going to adapt and how this is affecting, the situation is affecting us, but it's also affecting our students emotionally. Suddenly they don't go to school anymore. They don't go to their language academy anymore. They don't see their friends. And their whole life has been sort of thrown into chaos, into disarray. So one thing we should help them with is to help them maintain a sense of order and a sense of connection with each other and also with you as a teacher. So in order to do that, we need to establish strong routines and rules and a fixed schedule for classes and for their learning activities. Also, in order to make them feel kind of connected with each other and connected with you as the teacher, we need to prioritize communication with all students. That means, creating a forum, for example, creating a mailing list, sending out regular emails, setting up some office hours where students can drop in and talk to you outside of class time. This kind of thing can create, opportunities for them to interact. I think as the teacher, we don't realize how important it is for them to have, peer interaction and interaction with you as a teacher. So we need to give them a forum and also time to connect. Second tip I had was to keep things simple, to mostly use the same kind of flow, the same kind of tools. We have lots of tools available to us, but to overwhelm them with too many options, with too many different types of platforms that they need to learn and this kind of thing, this is going to be very overwhelming. So we should keep things simple and introduce new procedures and new routines gradually and give them time to adjust. Also, when we're running our classes, we need to scale down on our curriculum. So the number of learning objectives per class should be smaller than in a real offline class. The third tip I had for you was to keep things, keep variety involved in your class. So you should experiment with new things, keep things interesting by trying new things and try new resources or new ways of working and slowly introduce them. Another thing is to keep the energy level up. A lot of teachers struggle with this, in the classroom, when you're talking to the students, it's much easier for them to stay focused because there's sort of a social pressure in the classroom for them to focus on what you're saying. They can't slouch in their chair. They can't fall asleep at their desk. So you need to be much more active, much more lively to kind of keep their attention. Just a few activity ideas for you to try in class. I think, the fact that we are using online tools, can everybody just check if their microphone is muted? I'm getting some feedback from the audience. One thing about a lot of us think that it's very limiting for us to be working online, but actually there are things that we can do online that we couldn't do in the real classroom. For example, we could use some collaborative tools like Google Forms. We could have the students create like polls and surveys for each other using Google Forms, and then they can send the forms to each other and then share the results in a presentation with the class. Another thing is that, not all communication needs to be synchronous. It doesn't all have to be real time. For example, you could get students to use their mobile device and record either a video or record an audio and send it to each other in order to communicate, sort of like walkie-talkie style. Another way is for you to use Google Docs as a collaborative tool to do brainstorming or to do writing tasks. So this is something that you can't do in the real classroom. So I think this, it's not all bad. We can take advantage of some of the tools that are available to us online. So I also wanted to talk to you today a little bit about our digital learning solutions from Compass Publishing. There are two that I wanted to talk to you about. One is ClassBox, and the other one is BigBox. So I'll start with ClassBox. In the Korean education market, we've sort of combined different elements to provide learning solutions for this kind of situation. We have online teaching tools. We have our paper books, and now we've also launched an ebook platform. And we have individual online learning app called BigBox. So by combining these different elements, we can provide online tools and content for both teachers and students to use for conducting online learning. More recently, we've also started a pilot program since about mid-June. It's called Big Class Online Courses. What we're doing is we're broadcasting on YouTube Live every Monday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. And we're running these live interactive classes. And we have the YouTube Live classes, plus we also have a user message board where students and teachers can leave messages for the teacher. So right now we're focusing on kindergarten and lower primary levels. And actually we've had a very good response from our users. We have 4,000 users, just under 4,000 users who have pre-registered for the courses. And the number of attendees per class is about 1,500, so it's quite high. So our teachers are becoming famous in Korea. And in terms of the fee, we're charging $25 US per student per month. And we're running 3 programs that the students can attend. So there's a nonfiction reading program. Again, this is for lower primary, lower elementary. We have a reading program with we have a selection of about 30 readers that we've selected from our catalog. And then we also have a phonics series that we're teaching using our series called Jungle Phonics. So those are being conducted by local teachers in Korean, but using our materials and teaching through YouTube Live. So we've had some success with that. The ClassBox tool is actually, it's an easy to use teaching platform for ELT. It can be used for teaching in the classroom, when we don't have this kind of COVID situation, or it can also be used for remote teaching, for online teaching. And it has 4 elements: a library of digital books, programs where you can get recommendations on material from our catalog. It has an LMS, easy to use LMS, where you can assign homework and see reports from students. And it also has seminars for professional development. So our library of digital books has over 100 courses from kindergarten to adult level. And altogether, it has more than 1,000 streaming digital textbooks, and you can search those by CEFR level. And all of them include embedded media, like the audio tracks are embedded within the ebook. It has embedded answer key as well, and annotation tools. So it's got everything that you need to conduct online classes. There's also it's sort of a collection. For each book, you can have the downloadable supplementary resources, and there's lots and lots of things to use, like lesson plans, worksheets, activities, additional activities, and a full range of tests for each of those books. So this can create, through the platform, you can have online and offline content. So you can share the worksheets and tests with your students, get them to download them and print them, and then have them do them, in real life, and then take photos of them. So I'll just show you what the UI is like. So this is the UI is you can search by the title of the book and by the skill, the type of book, also by the CEFR level, or by the level of the student. Once you find a book that you like, you can click on it, and this is the UI that pops up, and it has all kinds of easy markup tools like pen markup tool, and you can insert notes, you can insert links. It's got all the audio embedded. It's got all the audio embedded, and you can also, it's got the answer key embedded as well. If you click on the downloads button on the left-hand side, you can see all the additional downloads that are available for that title, like the MP3s, the word lists, the transcripts, syllabus, answer keys, this type of thing, and all kinds of tests and worksheets. The LMS is very easy to use. We've decided to make it very simple. We could have added lots and lots of different functionality, but in order to make it easy for students and teachers to adapt to, we tried to keep it as simple as possible. So you can manage classes, you can assign homework, and once your students do their homework, you can see reports on their performance. It's integrated with our Big Box Learning app. So you can just share a class code with your students. You copy and paste the class code and send it out to them by messenger or by email, and get them to enter that in their Big Box app. And then once that creates like a connection between their Big Box app and the LMS, and you can assign homework to the students, and then you can track participation and performance. So I'm going to show you how this works, but this is the UI. You can see it's very, very simple. So all you do is to assign homework on the LMS. I'll just kind of walk you through it. So you click on one of the classes that you've created. Then you're going to see a list of your classes. You can see the class code next to each class. So it says my class, and then there's a six-digit alphanumeric code there, D6BKYC. That's the code that you share with your students to get them to enter in the Big Box app. If you click on report, sorry, if you click on homework, you'll see this interface, and it asks you to choose the textbook which you're going to use for the homework. So you can pre-select your favorite textbooks like I've done here, and those are going to end up on the top of the list. So if I, for example, if I clicked on Reading Future, then it's going to give me an option to choose the particular unit that I want to assign. And then I click Done. And I can give a name to the homework that I've assigned, so I can reuse it later, and I can see the report in my in the LMS. Then I click Save, and right away a notification is going to be sent to the Big Box app. So this is what the students are going to see on their side. So once they click on homework, there's going to be a notification icon that comes up on their notebook toggle here. Then they're going to see this. So I assigned Unit 11 for them, and Unit 11 is going to appear in their list. You can also set in the LMS, you can set the period of time that they have to do the activity. So in this case, I set it up until the 10th. Then if they click on the green down arrow here, they're going to see all of the different activities that they have to do. And for each of these activities, they're going to be rewarded with gold in the app. So gold coins that they can use in the app for various things. So for example, if they click on Word Flash, this is one of the activity types in Big Box. They're going to go through the series of flashcards, and it has the word on one side, and then if they click on the word, it's going to give them the audio, and if they click on it again, it's going to flip over and show them the picture. You can also see on the bottom right-hand corner, it's got a little microphone icon. If they click on that, they can actually use voice recognition to check their pronunciation. After they do the flashcards, it's going to give them a score for the speed that they did it. So in this case, I did it in 10 seconds, and I get 1 star for doing this. So then if the students click complete, right away, a report is going to be sent to the LMS. So on the teacher side, in the LMS, they're going to see that the homework was completed. So if they click on report here for this class, they're going to see a list of the different types of homework under study details. And if they click on the homework, it's going to give them a list of all the students. And in real time, it's going to show how those students are doing on each of the different activities. So you can see Karen, the student Karen, is working on her activities, and as she's doing them, it's being uploaded in real time. The program section, so that was a little bit about the LMS. So we looked at the digital library, the LMS. This is the third element in our platform. This is called program. So this is recommendations from our catalog of content. So we have all kinds of skill books that we can recommend for complementing our course books. And we can recommend them based on the CEFR level and also on the skill. And because we have a wide range of different products available, we can kind of make programs for kindergarten all the way up to adult. So if you select from the left-hand column there, if you select any level of student, we can make recommendations for the main course and also for the supplementary courses. Like if you wanted to work on doing a little bit of extra writing or extra grammar or extra reading, we can recommend different supplementary courses for each course book that you're using. The last component of the platform is our seminars section. And this is a list of professional development content and teacher training. We run live events, and we also have pre-recorded workshops if you wanted to watch, brush up on your teaching methodology. So altogether, this platform was intended to be used with any kind of video conferencing platform. So you can use it with Zoom, or you can use it with Google Meet, or any video conferencing platform that offers screen sharing. So I've just pre-recorded a video showing the interface, and I'll just kind of narrate while we're watching it. So this is the UI. This is what you're going to see when you log on to classboxenglish.com, and these are the different elements within the platform. So as I was saying before, you can search by the skill type, by the CEFR level, or by the level of your student. So you can search by the title. If you know a particular book that you'd like to use, you can search by the title. For example, Reading Future. And it's going to come up with all the Reading Future series. You can also click Favorite. You can click the little heart icon on the top of each book, and that's going to save it in your bookshelf. So then you can access by clicking on My Bookshelf, and then Reading Future is right there for me to use every time I log in. So once I go into the book, this is what I would see. This is the UI. If I click on Downloads on the left-hand column, I can see all the different resources that are available for download. So you could download tests, worksheets, and then send them to your students. I'll just go through some of the UI. So you can zoom in on any part of the page if you want students to focus on a particular part of the page. You can also add notes. So if I click on you can also search within the book for particular words. You can add notes as well. So if you click on the little note icon on the top, you can add a note. For example, if I wanted to add some teacher notes, like remember, I want to leave a note for myself to remember to tell the students about something. So for example, if I wanted to tell them about Tutankhamun or King Tut, maybe I have some facts that I want to remind myself about. Then that item, that note, is always on the page, and I can place it anywhere down at the bottom or in the middle of the page. I can also use the pen tool to mark up the page if I'm talking to the students and I want to draw their attention. There's also highlighter tools.
Unit 2.
And as I was saying, all the audio is embedded.
Unit 2. The Tomb of Tutankhamun. New words. Write the correct word and listen.
Number 1. Thief. Number 2. Contain. Number 3. Gold.
And you can see the answer key.
Number
All I'm doing
4.
is clicking on the little keys
Hidden.
there, and the answers show up.
Number 5. Object.
I'll show you the LMS. So this is what the LMS looks like. It's very simple, but it's got everything that you need. So it gives you a list of your classes, and I can create a new class by clicking on the plus button and enter the name of my class. And then you can see my new class shows up in my list there. I can also add students manually, or I can share the alphanumeric code with my students. So if I wanted to add them manually, all I need to do is get the, I can share this code with them, or I can add them manually as well. So as long as I have their big box ID, which they can get from inside the app, then I can set up their account for them. If you have very young students, this would be the better way to do it. Then you can see the student is registered in my class. So once you, if you want to assign homework, you can just select the book that you want to assign it from. Then you're going to see a list of the books. You can select the book and then choose the unit that you're working on. Create a name for your homework so you can see it in the list of homework assignments. And then just click yes, and that's automatically sent to your students. So that just gives you a quick idea about our ClassBox platform. So that's our teaching platform. If you would like more information about that, you can visit our website at classboxenglish.com, or you can scan the QR code that you see on your screen, and you can actually see the same website on your mobile device. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Ocha for any, if you have any questions about online teaching, about the situation in Korea, or about our online teaching platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. John. Actually, there are so many questions on the chat room, but I would like to invite the participants who are going to use the raise hand feature first. So if you are willing to ask Mr. John right away, you can use the raise hand feature. Bapak Ibu, jika ada yang ingin langsung bertanya kepada Mr. John, silahkan, ini kesempatannya, bisa langsung raise hand. Baik, Mr. John, we already have the first participant here. It's Mr. Arnes. Mr. Arnes, silahkan.
Hi, Mr. Arnes. Hello?
Mr. John. Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, just speak up a little bit. It's very quiet.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Sir, I have a question here. As you saw me that on that, what we call on that slide, there are two options that we need to apply on this learning class, online class learning. The first one is ClassBox, and then what was that? The last one, sir?
Big box. I'm gonna show that to you afterwards.
Okay. And then the question is, what is the link that we can get to that ClassBox and then go big box class?
Okay, so you're asking about the link?
Yes.
Yeah, it's classboxenglish.com.
Excuse me, moderator, can we please write down on the chat so that we can copy that?
Mr. John, yeah, this
I'll
is
write
the,
I'll write it for you.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my colleague just wrote it down.
All right. Thank you, Mr. John. That's all my questions.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Arnes.
Mr. Arnes.
Yeah,
And we have the second participant. It's Miss Yuka.
I just wanted to
Okay.
mention very quickly, if you go to that link, you can sign up for a 15-day free trial. So you can try out the product for free for 15 days.
Okay, thank you, Mr. John. And the second participant is Miss Yuka. Silakan, Miss Yuka. Di-unmute terlebih dahulu, ya.
Okay, can you
Hello,
hear my
Miss Yuka.
voice?
Yes, I
Hello,
can.
Mr. John Edwards, nice to meet you.
Hi there, nice to meet you too.
It is very interesting from your explanations. My question is based on your explanation before.
I'm sorry, Miss Yuka.
Sorry,
Miss Yuka, could you please restate your question? Repeat it.
Hello?
Yes,
Can you
please.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, in the previous explanations on your PowerPoint before, you said there is some kind of like program or something like that is for children. I remember that it's the program which is for lower and then kindergarten. So my question is, how did you conduct that kind of program? Because tell you the truth, in Indonesia, we have a lot of problems when we have to conduct online class for kids, yeah, especially for primary school, even in primary school, like first primary school or even kindergarten. So I heard that you used some kind of like program in the previous slide before. And did you do that one in the, like live, or it is just like, oh, you show the program and then send it before, or how is it? Because I do really interested with that one. Thank you very much.
So with younger learners, I think especially, kindergarten and grade 1, the important thing is to get the cooperation of the parents. Without that, you can't do anything, I think, because the students just don't know how to operate a computer, and they can't really sit down quietly for a half an hour class. So you really need to enlist the help of the parents. I think that's the first tip. And I think, for the other thing I would recommend for younger learners is to use a lot of printouts, like use actual physical paper printouts. A lot of online classes are doing things with typing and with stylus on a tablet. And I think students at that level, they really need to know how to hold a pen, they're still working on their fine motor skills, right? So having, do you remember we talked about the 3 types of classes? We had the content class and the live interactive class, and then the task class. Yeah. I think for the task type class, having like physical worksheets that the parents, maybe the parents print them out, or you could send them to the parents' home. Getting the students to do them on the actual paper is going to be important for them to develop their handwriting skills. Then the teachers can just the parents can just take a picture of the paper and send it to you.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay. In your opinion, when we conduct the online class, let's say when we go to the part of before the R3, right? The one that online one. So how many participants should we have when we have to do or conduct the online class, that one, to have the interactive one?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the age of the students. I think with very young learners, if you have large classes, like what is your class size?
Usually we have like 5 to 10 maximum in one.
And they're
Well,
lower
Yeah.
elementary.
Yeah, for lower elementary, we have maximum 8 students actually. So do you think is it good enough to conduct? I mean, like we try several things like that actually.
I've seen that number with like grade 2 and 3, and it seems to work okay. But for grade 1, I
No.
think it's not advisable to have that many students in one class.
Okay. So
Just
3.
because the teacher will have a really hard time to control
Okay.
them, you know. So
All right. So it means like for kindergarten, maybe about 3, it's just enough, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
So for a higher elementary level, 5 maybe okay with that one, like grade 5 or 6, like that.
Right. Yeah, and what you could do is, you know, if you have classes already set up, you could split the class into those smaller groups, and then you could kind of rotate the types of classes. Like, for example, when one class is doing a content type class, the other students could be doing real-time interactive class. So you could kind of break the classes up into smaller groups. I think that's going to work well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. John Edwards.
You're welcome. Good luck with your teaching.
Ms. Yuka.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and there is also another participant, Mr. John.
Okay.
They are really active, Mr. John. Now is Mr. Muhammad Shaihu. Silakan, Mr.
Hi, Mr. Mohammed.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity given to me, Ms. Ocha.
Yes,
You're
you're
very
welcome.
Hello, Mr. John Edwards. How do you do?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Oh, great, sir. Great. We are here in Tangerang, Banten.
Well, that's one thing that is regrettable about this situation is instead of going to visit you to give this presentation, we're doing it online. So I don't get to see your beautiful country.
Yeah. And now, thank you. It's really what we call them. It's really a golden opportunity. You can meet to. I mean, that somebody like you, sir. Ms. Ocha as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, just go directly to the questions, sir. Actually, I have got 3 questions, but you have already answered one of them. I mean that, I handled many classes dealing with children for this online. And then I have got problem about the, what we call them, independence. Because I have also got a kindergarten class where they cannot be independent when they learned.
Right.
But thanks God, I mean, thank you very much. You have already told us how to handle them. I mean that in this case that parents need to, what we call them, accompany them during the process, right, sir?
I think it's unavoidable. It's the only option.
Yeah, and then, sir, one more point. I mean that I always try to avoid what we call them to focus on the learning content. I mean that content-based teaching. I do not want it is become a dull class or dull situation while learning. It means that I do not want to make the students get bored. Have you got? I mean that. Could you tell us some tip or tricks to make them, let's say, cheerful while learning, and then they don't get what we call them easily get bored. That's it, sir. We need some inputs. Please.
I have two suggestions. So one is you can get actually 3 suggestions.
Yeah.
So one is to use multimedia. You know, when you have some topic that you want to talk to them about, you know. The way to kind of grab their attention very quickly is to show them some kind of video. It doesn't matter if they understand all of the language in the video. The important thing is the visuals, that they see what's going on, right?
I see. Yeah.
I think young children respond very well to video. Another suggestion is to use, there's a lot of interactive drawing tools. Like there's one by Google called Jamboard.
Jamboard?
Yeah, Jamboard, Jamboard. It's a collaborative drawing tool. So you can actually share the link with your students, and everybody can draw together. I think for very young students, this is going to be very fun to see, you know, to see each other's drawings happening right in front of them.
Yeah, I see.
The third option that I was going to suggest is a lot of teachers think that when you have an interactive live, like real-time class, like we're having right now, the students have to sit down in front of the class, in front of the screen. But I think for very young students, this is very difficult to do.
Difficult, sir. Cannot.
Yes.
They cannot concentrate like that.
So you know, one thing you can do is get the students to go and find something in their environment. For example, you could say, go and find a spoon.
Yeah.
You know, go and find something red.
Yeah.
And then they can have sort of a show and tell. Or you could say, you know, go and find your favorite toy and tell me about it. You know, they don't have to stay in front of the computer the whole time.
Nice.
Also, you know, you can use TPR a lot. You know,
yeah.
TPR, right?
Nice.
So get them to stand up. You know, raise your hands. Put up your left hand. Put up your right hand. I think getting young students active is a good way to kind of break up the class.
Yeah. I think I miss those points. I mean that I usually you know did such things. I mean that when we were still doing the offline class for the kids. Yeah, but now because of this pandemic situation, and then we just come into our mind that the students need to focus too much on the screen. So thank you for the input, Mr. John.
Good luck with your teaching.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Ms.
Thank
Ocha,
you,
thank you very
Mr.
much.
Shaihu. And that question is actually also there's another participant asking the same question, and it's already answered. Yeah, the same question from Priska Sirait.
Everybody's having trouble with young learners.
Yes, that's true.
That's it. Mr.
It is such
John.
a challenge to have online learning.
Yeah, really challenging. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Shaihu.
Yep.
And this is one more participant, Mr. John, and after this we can continue. This is from Miss Veronica Rugun.
Hello.
Please, Miss Veronica.
Yes. Hi, Mr. John. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, Miss Veronica?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Mr. John, I just want to ask you about, is there any way that my student can have certificate when they pass any level on the books that is used on your platform? I mean,
we currently don't have certificates. Some of our courses like Hangout, as far as I remember, they may have certificates at the back of the book, at the back of the teacher's guide that you can photocopy and this kind of thing. But I'm not sure about that. I have to check. But it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yes.
So I'll suggest it to our content team.
Okay. So can you give me any number, maybe by chat, which number that I should contact to?
Okay, at the end of the session, we will share the contact, yeah, Miss Veronica?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Veronica. And Mr. John, I would like to share that I just got the information that in today's session, we also have participants from Binjai, the northern of Sumatra, or the western part of Indonesia, and also participants from Papua, Mr. John, the eastern part of Indonesia. That's wonderful, right?
All over the country.
Yes, that's true.
Wow.
And also, don't worry for the other participants. If you still have any question, we will also open Q&A session at the end of the session. And right now, Mr. John can continue the session.
Okay, thank you very much. So we talked about we're talking about our online solutions, and we talked about our teaching platform, which is ClassBox. The second one that I wanted to talk about is BigBox, which is our English learning application. So it's an application that students can install on their mobile device, on Android or iOS device. And it's also available on PC as well. I'm going to share the link with you at the end of the presentation. So this application, the way that we've set it up is to offer personalized content that suits the interests and the ability of the students. So it also offers gamified language learning. So we know that for young students, you know, studying English can be a little boring sometimes with the wrong material. So we wanted to make sure that students could choose their own material that they're interested in, and that they're doing their homework, doing their assignments is kind of like a game, playing a game. So the core of Big Box is content curation. What that means is we have a library of over 11,000 videos and playbooks that we've got from different sources. We've got them from other publishers, from our own content. We've also looked all over the internet for different kinds of videos that are age appropriate. And we also have playbooks, which are basically readers where we've added the audio track right into the reader, and they advance automatically. So the students can listen and read along with the story. So what we do is at the beginning of the app, so as soon as the students open the app for the first time, we ask their year of birth, when they were born, and we ask them to choose 3 or 4 elements that they're interested in. We give them like a screen of different things like sports, cooking, food, you know, many different things, and they choose 3 or 4 of them. And then as they're using the app, we also are getting feedback on them from on the content that we're giving them. So we're always adjusting the algorithm. We're always adjusting what we're recommending to them. So based on that information, based on their age, their gender, their interests, and their learning patterns, we're going to recommend to them a feed of videos and playbooks. So you can kind of imagine that it's just like Netflix or YouTube if you use those platforms. So you know, there's lots and lots of content for them to look at. So they're going to watch the videos, they're going to read the playbooks. Then after that, we're going to select some, just give me a moment here. We're going to select some words. So what we have done is we've taken the transcript of the videos and all of the words in the playbook, and we've selected out words that are at level for the students. So those words are going to be presented to the students after they watch the video, just like you can see here on the screen here. They're going to see a word card, and it gives them the word, a picture that shows them the meaning of the word, a definition, and it plays them the audio as well. And in order to kind of claim the card, the students have to click on this microphone icon in the bottom right-hand corner. They say the word, and then they get to keep the card. And so collecting cards is kind of the game mechanic of this app. Another element within this application is our Reading Oceans library. So Reading Oceans is a library of about 1,000 graded readers, and they cover fiction and nonfiction on a wide range of topics that are interesting to students from elementary, middle school, high school. And they range in level from phonics decodable, so very, very simple language that students can understand if they've just started learning phonics, all the way up to upper intermediate level. So that would be suitable for like high school students. All of the Reading Oceans content has embedded audio, and each of the books has also activities that accompany them, and those focus on vocabulary, key expressions, and also on comprehension of the content. Another element within the app is Class Booster. So we talked before about how the LMS on ClassBox is actually linked to Big Box. So this is where the students would get their homework. So these are e-learning activities for all of our course books and skill books, and they're linked with the ClassBox LMS. So as a teacher, this is where you can assign their homework, or it could also be used for flipped learning. Flipped learning means they're doing the activities and most of the learning before class. And then when they come to class, they're all prepared for doing more kind of communicative activities. You could also use those types of assignments for review as well. So just like we saw before with the ClassBox presentation, when you assign homework, the students are going to get a notification for a quest in their app, and they're going to receive some coins that they can use in the game to do various things. So each of our books, this is about the ClassBox part of the app. Each of the books has 4 or 5 or 6 different types of activities. So I'm just showing you the Reading Future class booster, and this has 6 different types of activities. So the first one is the word flash. That includes they're just flashcards that the students can use to pre-study the words. And they include the word, an image on the back side of the card, the audio, and they also have voice recognition software. You can see this little microphone icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. They click on that to check their pronunciation of the word. Then there's a word match. This is another activity that's in Class Booster. So students, after they've learned the words with the flashcards, they have to play this little matching game where they are presented with the images and the words, and they have to quickly match them. And there's some time pressure to do it. So they get more points the faster that they do it. Then there's there's the quiz activity, which is multiple choice questions that are related to the concepts in the main passage in the unit, and also related to learning points from the unit as well. Then there's Unscramble, where we've taken key sentences from the reading or the listening passage and scrambled them up, and the students have to reorder them. So in this case, they can use either voice recognition. They can click on this little icon in the bottom right-hand corner, or they can drag and drop the parts of the sentence into the right order. There's also a summary activity where they're given a short summary of the reading passage or the listening passage, and they have to place the key words within the summary. So they just click on them in order, in the order that they appear, to fill in the blanks. There's also an audio activity where they are given key sentences from the passage, and they have to listen and repeat. And again, that has voice recognition software built in. So after they finish their activities, each activity, they are going to press complete, and that's automatically going to send a report to the ClassBox LMS. They're also going to get coins for doing their homework, and they can use those coins in the application. So I'll just show you a quick video to demonstrate ClassBox. So this is the UI of ClassBox. It has different elements. And the one I wanted to show you, focus on, is the Class Booster. So if they click on the book that they're using, and then they can select the unit that they've been assigned, and they're presented with all these different activities. These are the flashcards.
Root. Ocean. Ocean. Freezing. Freezing. Finish. Finish. Adventure. Adventure. Rescue. Rescue.
I'm sorry, Mr. John. I think the audio is not clear.
Yeah, my computer is having a hard time, I guess, because of the the number of participants, I guess.
We have so many participants here.
Sorry. Can you hear my voice okay?
Yes, yes, very clear.
So basically, I was just showing you that the flashcards have audio built into them. This is the word map.
Rescue. Freezing. Fish. Root. Ocean.
And this is the quiz section. So the quiz is about the reading in the unit. And this is unscramble, where they're putting the sentence into order. This is the summary section where they're putting the keywords into the summary of the passage. Sorry, I didn't do very well on that. And then the last one is the audio
Northwest Passage.
So again, with this part, they are given the audio and the text from different key sentences from the passage, and then they can use the microphone icon to say this, to repeat the sentence, so they can practice their pronunciation.
The route connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. He became the first man to reach the South Pole. North Pole.
So if you'd like to try out the app, you can actually download it. You can go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and search for Big Box, and you should be able to find it fairly easily. Alternatively, if you have your device with you, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen in front of you, and that'll take you directly to the Play Store, to the page in the Play Store or the App Store. So we've talked about our online learning solutions. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of our products as well. So the first one I wanted to mention was about Reading Future. This is our reading skills book for the future. It's got, actually, it's a very large series. It's got 21 books altogether, 7 levels with 3 books each. So each of those 3 books are leveled the same, but there's 7 levels altogether, and they range from pre-A1 level, so very, very simple, all the way up to A2 plus level. So it would be like a middle school level reading. It features high interest nonfiction topics. So all of the readings are nonfiction, and they're all sort of related to topics that are related to the future in some way, future jobs, technology, things that are changing in the world. The readings are carefully leveled, and there's lots of scaffolding. So we've included like scaffolding for the vocabulary. They're pre-learning the vocabulary. We also have lots of images that they can use to understand the content a little bit more easily. And we've included also videos that they can watch to understand the content more deeply. There's also a focus on high frequency useful vocabulary. So this is vocabulary that is not only important for understanding the passage, but also is going to enrich their vocabulary in general. We've also included activities for the development of vocabulary skills and reading skills. We'll take a look at those a little bit in a minute. And every unit has a project that's related to the theme that builds 21st century skills. And I'm going to show you some examples of those in a minute. So the book structure has, there are 16 units altogether with we've kind of grouped them into 4 school subject themes. So things like science, language arts, music, math. So they're grouped together according to those themes. Each of the 16 units has 4 pages in the student book. And then there's a detachable workbook. So it's kind of a book-in-book style. So you can actually take out the workbook. And each unit has 2 pages in the workbook as well. So we talked a little bit about the leveling before, but I just wanted to show you how the readings are arranged. So starter level is intended for kind of kindergarten, grade 1 level reading. And the passages are between 30 and 45 words. So very, very short passages. And the Lexile level is about 50 to 150. So extremely easy passages. And there's lots of repetition of the structures. And in the higher levels, we go all the way up to 180 to 220 words. And you can see, if you look at the range of words and the Lexile levels, there's lots of overlap between the levels. So there's a very kind of gradual increase in the difficulty level over the whole period, over the whole product. I'll just show you some examples of how we've controlled the content level. So in the starter level, which is the lowest level, I said the passages are sort of 30 to 45 words long. And you can see there's lots of repetition of the same structures. And we've printed the passages just as individual sentences, so one by one, so the students can easily parse them. They can easily understand each sentence one by one. And they can see the pattern, the structure pattern. In the middle of the series, we've sort of increased the difficulty level by having 2 or 3 paragraphs where there's very simple structures, but the sentences make a flow of ideas. So we're kind of leveling up very gradually. This is sort of about 2/3 of the way through the course. Then at the highest level, the change and create level, we have multiple paragraphs with varied sentences. So they're reading things that are, like upper intermediate level. We have a wide range of different informative passages, things that students are going to find very interesting, like meat-eating plants, and all about why you get cavities. Things like making instruments out of vegetables. Then for the higher students, for the higher level students, as they get older and they become more aware of the society that they live in, we have topics that are related to, making money or careers, these kinds of things. Like I mentioned before, we also have a 21st century skills project in each unit. So that's a project that is very simple to match the language level and the cognitive level of the students, but it builds their 21st century skills. So those are skills like communication, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking skills. So here you can see the types of projects that we have. By working on these kinds of very simple projects, students can develop their 21st century skills. And they're also going to enrich their understanding of the topic. So I'll just give you a unit walkthrough very quickly. So this is the opening 2-page spread for the 4-unit section. We give a list of the learning objectives for the four lessons of the section. And then we also have this image and some engaging questions to stimulate the students' interest in the theme. This is kind of the lead-in page. Then each lesson, each unit opens up with a warm-up section. And you can scan the QR code. There's this QR code at the top right-hand corner of the first page. And that's going to give you all of the audio for the whole unit, the audio for the vocabulary, and also the audio for the passage. And you can just play it for your students right on on your phone, on your device. Or you can also download all the content from our website at compasspub.com. So the warm-up is going to start off the lesson with a short reading. There's like 2 or 3 sentences, and that's going to kind of give them a very broad, general sense of what the topic is about. There's also going to be an image that gives them some kind of clues about the topic as well. Then they're going to answer some questions that get them to activate their background knowledge and generate interest in the topic. Then they move on to the new words section. The key words, so we haven't included all of the words from the passage that we think might be difficult, but we've included kind of keywords. Usually for the lower level, there's 4 words. For the intermediate levels, there's 6 words. And then for the higher levels, there's 8 to 10 words. And these are the words that are kind of very important for them to understand the content of the passage. And these include a simple exercise that involves the image and audio support as well. The readings also come with linked videos. So we've looked through all kinds of content, and we found videos that sort of lead into the topic. So playing these videos either before or after the reading can get the students more interested in the reading topic. And as I mentioned before, text complexity is very carefully controlled, and the target words are bolded in the passage. We've built in some short activities to build vocabulary skills, things like understanding prefixes and roots and suffixes, or understanding the content, the meaning of a word from the context that it appears in. Also, we're building reading skills. So the reading skills are things like different organizations of the passages. On the third page, the third page is all about reading comprehension. So we go through some simple multiple choice questions that check the understanding of the students of the main points and the details. And then we have this reading skills section that has different kinds of graphic organizers. So sometimes it's compare and contrast, sometimes it's main ideas and details, sometimes it's pros and cons. So it's going to enhance their overall comprehension of the content, but also it's going to familiarize them with different kinds of passage organizations. Then we review the vocabulary with some easy fill in the blank activities so they can see the vocabulary in a different context. And then there's this 21st century skills project that is linked to the topic. So it's related to the topic, and they're going to do something more active. Most reading courses are very dry and very passive, but this is going to get them more active, and it's going to enrich their understanding of the topic. So you can see this is the workbook pages. So again, they go through vocabulary check, structure with the sentence check, comprehension check, and then a summary section. In terms of the supplemental materials, so these are available on ClassBox, like I showed you before. So you can download them directly from that downloads page within the book, or you can also get them on our website if you search for the name of the book. And the supplemental, we've got lots of different supplemental materials like word lists. There's syllabi for different kinds of course structures, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. We've got lesson plans, sample lesson plans. We've got full answer key for the student book and workbook. We've got dictation worksheets and writing worksheets. We've got unit tests, midterm tests, and final tests. We've got the full list of the video links that you can use for previewing the content. And we've also included background information. We know teachers are not experts in all of these, very technological topics. So we've included background information, which is like short paragraphs that give you kind of a brief summary of the important points of this theme, of this topic. So if you're interested in more information about this product, you can scan the QR code, and that's going to take you directly to the website, or you can visit our website at compasspub.com and search for Reading Future. I'll just mention very quickly three other products that you might be interested in. There's Time to Talk. These are all for university and adult level. So there's Time to Talk, which is a 7-level communication-focused ELT course that's for university and adult students. Just a moment. Each unit has a very clear CEFR competency aim. So the learning aims are directly related to the Common European Framework competencies. It also includes balanced instruction in all 4 skills. So it has separate parts that are related to listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It's primarily communicative. So there's lots of communicative activities, but they're also balanced with, it's not pure CLT. It's also balanced with grammar instruction and vocabulary building. Each book in the 7-level series has 20 lessons, and the range of difficulty level is from pre-A1 all the way up to B2 level. The second product I wanted to talk about is our Interact series. So Interact is a 4-level series. Again, it's for university to adult learners. It has a primarily grammar and function-based curriculum, and each unit has a clear language focus with vocabulary instruction and vocabulary building, but then it progresses to more communication focus. So the lesson aims in every lesson are very useful and meaningful, so they're related to the real life situations of students. Each of the 4 books has 36 lessons, and the range is from A1, CEFR A1 level to CEFR B2 level. And the last product I wanted to talk about is Blueprint, which is again a 7-level ELT course, and it's for university and adult students. And it balances the 4 sort of main strands of language instruction: meaning-focused input, meaning-focused output, language-focused learning, and fluency building. So those 4 types of lessons are included in throughout the book, throughout the product. There's task-based activities to apply the language skills. So they learn something and they practice it with something more task-based. There's frequent review units to consolidate the learning. And there's also very nice animated videos to preview the unit content. So each of the 7 levels has 40 lessons, and they're kind of grouped into 8 units. And the range is from A1 all the way up to C1 level. So there's quite a range of difficulty levels within this product. Okay, so we have Reading Future, Time to Talk, Interact, and Blueprint. These are the products that we're talking about today. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Ocha for some questions. Okay. And I really need to take a drink because I've been talking too much.
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Mr. John, for your wonderful and informative session about the interactive digital learning program from Compass Publishing. But before the Q&A session, I would like to summarize some points that you have mentioned before. And I'm going to share it in Indonesia. Baik Bapak dan Ibu pendidik yang kami hormati, Kami sangat berharap bahwa semoga sesi siang hari ini dapat memberikan insights dan juga tentunya strategi baru bagi Bapak Ibu dan bisa menjadi jawaban untuk pengajaran bahasa Inggris yang tentunya impactful pada lembaga kursus, khususnya di kondisi saat ini. Dan Bapak Ibu, program Reading Future, Time to Talk, Interact maupun Blueprint merupakan program fully digital yang terdiri dari interaktif e-book dan online practice yang mengacu pada Common European Framework of Reference. Dan tentunya dilengkapi dengan beragam kegiatan latihan edukatif untuk mengasah skills bahasa Inggris anak didik Anda, sehingga sangat sesuai untuk menjadi materi pegangan bagi guru dan siswa dalam mendukung program pembelajaran jarak jauh di lembaga kursus. Dan dilengkapi juga dengan fitur LMS atau Learning Management System, guru tentunya dapat dengan mudah nih terkoneksi dengan para siswa dalam memberikan tugas maupun latihan tambahan, dan pastinya akan sangat terbantu untuk secara otomatis memonitor progres dan perkembangan setiap siswa dalam proses pembelajaran jarak jauh ini. Bapak Ibu yang tertarik menggunakan platform Learning Management System atau Interactive e-books yang dipresentasikan oleh Mr. John hari ini, khususnya untuk 4 pilihan program judul tadi ya, yang sudah disebutkan Reading Future, Time to Talk, Interact, dan Blueprint, yang dapat mendukung lembaga kursus Bapak dan Ibu, silakan menghubungi Education Consultant Mentari Group atau menghubungi nomor WhatsApp kami di 0856 9785 6420. Saya ulangi ya, bisa menghubungi nomor WhatsApp kami di 0856 9785 6420. Silahkan, sudah tertera juga di layar, bisa melalui email maupun WhatsApp kami, dan kami akan dengan senang hati menjawab pertanyaan ataupun keinginan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Dan sekarang kita masuk ke sesi tanya jawab Bapak Ibu. Silahkan untuk sesi ini jika ada yang ingin bertanya, silahkan menggunakan fitur raise hand yang ada di bagian partisipan. Saya akan memberikan kesempatan bagi Bapak Ibu yang ingin bertanya. Silahkan, you can use the raise hand feature. Well, actually, Mr. John, we have one participant here, is Mr. Lubis. Silakan, Mr. Lubis, saya sudah unmute ya.
Hello, Mr. Lubis.
Mr. Lubis, bisa di-unmute ya?
Yes,
silakan.
Pak Edwards. Apa
Hi
kabar?
there. How are you today?
Yes, Pak Edward, apa kabar, Pak?
They are asking, how are you, Mr.? It's
my
Indonesia.
my bahasa is not that good, but I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's very pleasure to see you even online. So I have a question for you, Pak Edwards. Is it also does it also work successfully? Even we can do it offline. So, I mean, like, it's not about online. It's not the whole thing we can do through online, but how we work on this product also successfully through offline. I mean, I've been in touch with the online, with one of, yeah, excuse me. I've been in touch with the online learning system like this when I was in the English First or Education First. They're using many kinds of online products like this, but the thing I found out is, the online system made the students spoiled or not independent. Dependent on the system. What do you call that? Or the system gives to the students, of course. So everything they will be they will think that, okay, I will count on what the online says, so it makes them, and it makes the students like spoiled and not independent.
So we designed this product, like, we are, first and foremost, we are a print publication company. So we started with the print books. So actually our products are intended for offline use, but more recently we are kind of adapting them to online use. So we wanted to make our system very flexible, so that teachers can use it either for, like, you know, that the ebooks, right? The interactive ebooks. You could use that in the classroom with a screen, right? You could use that to show the students the listening or the vocabulary. You can use it as a presentation tool in class, or you could use it for online just by doing screen sharing. So we wanted to make it very flexible like that.
All right. So how many percent have you made a kind of a research? I mean, about the success of the implementation through offline? How many percent you can, I mean, a teacher can work on it, and through online, how many percent successful you can enjoy interacting with the students? Or, okay, even though well, we can operate the online system, so how have you found out the percentages, or
so far we haven't done any like formal user research yet, but we've got some, you know, just anecdotal feedback from teachers that they're finding it useful. It's still it's still so far, a relatively young product.
Okay, but again, even though we have this kind of product, I mean, maximally can be applied online, but it can be also applied offline, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's
you can use it. You can use it.
Yeah.
You can use it with Big Box or without Big Box. It's completely up to you.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, thank you for your question.
Thank you, Pak Edwards. Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
Anytime.
Mr. John, he actually has a good question here in the chat room. I would like to share the question so other people could also know the answer. So does this product give the teachers some kind of like teacher's guide of how to apply this either offline or online?
We are working on the teacher's guide at the moment. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll be waiting. Yeah.
And here we also have Mr. Aprianus. Silakan, Mr. Aprianus.
Good afternoon, Mr. Edward.
Hi there.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm actually at the moment is teaching TOEFL preparation. You mentioned it on our last meeting that you also have the product on this, but my difficulty, maybe you can also explain a little bit about this TOEFL preparation product, and also the problem that I encounter at the moment is how to control the quiz, the assessment. For example, if we are doing listening, we cannot make sure that the student are doing only once for the listening. That's all for my question, and thank you for your.
We actually have a separate product for that's specifically for TOEFL and TOEIC. I can give you some information about that later if you send me an email. As for your question about how to make sure that students are not cheating, one thing that I would recommend is to actually have test, or if you're having an assessment, to actually have them do it in front of the video camera. This is something that I've seen with Google. So Google has like a training program for their people who are selling their products. And when they do the test to give the certificate for the sellers, they actually have them do it in front of a video camera. So you can actually monitor them by video. I hope that answers your question.
Hello, sir?
I think he turned off his microphone, but it's okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr.
He's shy,
John.
he's shy.
He's shy. Okay. So is there any other question from the participants? You can use the raise hand feature. So we're waiting for the other participants. I actually have, there is a question from Ms. Febri. So how to make forum for students so they can discuss during online learning? What do you think, Mr. John?
How to make a forum?
Yes, a forum. So we can discuss between students.
I think
a group discussion.
There are different ways to do that. So one is you can use any kind of SMS program that has a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way to do it. Another way is there's a product called Google Groups. It's a free product, and you can set up like a mailing list. That's another solution. What I do for my classes is we have an SMS program called Kakao Talk, and I just make a group room, and students can ask each other questions, or they can ask me questions in the room.
Mm-hmm.
That's also where I send them their homework assignments as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. John. And there's actually a question from Miss Irma Shinta about some kind like theory. Maybe Miss Irma, you can directly ask to Mr. John, if you don't mind.
I'll try.
Miss Irma? Hello, Miss Irma? Okay, maybe she's shy.
She's also shy.
Well, so we have a new question here from Miss Friska. Maybe Miss Friska could also ask the question directly to Mr. John. Please, Miss Friska.
Hi, Miss Friska.
Hi. Hi, John.
Hi.
I'm sorry, Miss Friska. Could you please turn on the camera?
Oh, I'm shy.
Don't be shy.
I'm really shy. Yeah. Thank you for the explanation. I think it's very nice.
It is not so clear. I cannot hear.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Actually, we have used that book Mentari books for a long time. But I think this book is very, very nice, especially for listening, I think, yeah. Because I think it is for listening the native speaker, okay? So we usually follow the what is that, seminar or whatever from our course from Kisaran is very far. But the thing that I'm going to ask you, okay. Is it possible to teach adult students like SMA use what else?
Flipped learning?
Yeah, flipped learning. Is it possible to teach SMA students use flipped learning?
Flipped learning is just basically it just means previewing the content, right? So you just send the content to them before the class to give them enough time to learn it on their own. So, and then you know in the classroom you don't focus on that content. You do maybe comprehension questions, or you do more communicative activities.
So it can be said that it's stimulation for the students.
Definitely. I mean, it requires more sort of learner discipline or independence, but once they kind of get the flow, or they get the rhythm of your class, for example, you know, you send them the content on Monday, then they have 2 days to preview it. And then on Wednesday, you're going to give them some questions about it. Once they get used to that rhythm, then, you know, then it's going to work very well. So I think having a schedule like that is important for flipped learning.
Okay, I think I thought that it seems like in Indonesia we have thematic like that. So in that subject we have to teach them like biology, like art. I thought like that. So it seems like a stimulation only.
Yeah,
Is it like that?
I mean, that's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it is that, you know, by doing flipped learning, you take the focus away from the input skills and focus more on the output skills. Like instead of doing the listening activities or the reading activities, focusing a lot of time in class on those, you can get them to do more you can get them to do that at home in advance of class, before class. And then in the classroom, you focus more on like communication and, you know, output skills, getting them to answer questions or getting them to interact with each other. It just makes more time for that. That's the purpose of flipped learning.
Okay, I get that. But can I ask you one more thing, please?
Sure. Is it allowed, Miss Ocha?
Okay, but straight to the point. Okay, Miss Priska,
okay,
because we have another participant.
Okay. When we get into a new lesson, we will find some pictures, and also we will see some vocabularies in it. And sometimes I have a difficult what will I do with that? It seems like vocabulary that relate to the pictures.
I see. So, I mean, the pictures are there to give the students some clues about the meaning. So what I usually do is if I think there's a kind of clear connection between the image and the word, I get students to guess the meaning of the word based on the picture. So I say, you know, look at the picture and tell me what you see in the picture. Okay, that picture is meaning, you know, community. What do you think community means based on the picture? Like this, just use the pictures like that. They're just sort of a clue for the meaning of the word.
So that can be a beginning of the lesson, I think, like that.
Sure.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. John.
You're very welcome. Good luck with your teaching.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Priska. Thank you. Well, Mr. John, I think I heard Miss Irma's voice just now.
Okay.
Miss Irma, I already unmute you. Hello, Miss Irma.
Or you can type your question in the chat if you want.
So she is actually asking about from which theory that you get the materials about the types. The thing is, we would like to ask Miss Irma, which types is she referring to?
I think she means the types of classes.
We can talk about that, Mr. John.
I assume that's what she means. So that was actually released by the Korean Ministry of Education when they sent out some guidelines for teachers to use in planning their classes. So that was just their recommendation, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Since Miss Irma cannot be contacted, so let's move to another participant.
Sure.
So it's Miss. Okay, I would like to give opportunity to with the name of English Tutorial Center. I don't know. Maybe you can say your name.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Can you please? Okay.
Please introduce your name and also turn the camera, please.
Okay. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity joining with every expert in Indonesia and also Sir John Edwards. I would like to ask you something. I am Citra. I'm one of the instructors at English Tutorial Center. It's an English course in Padang, West Sumatra.
Okay.
And then we just adopted some online sources. Well, of course, it's like a sudden process because we didn't get used to do this one, but since the pandemic, we have to do this process, and then we deal with so many barriers and what can I say, challenges. I would like to ask you something. This deals with assessment. For me, myself, it's hard for me to find the right way to assess the students because it opens possibility for them to cheat or to ask their friends or even to Google the information from the internet. So can you please share some useful tips to avoid or at least to minimize the cheating behavior of the students?
So the answer that I gave before, the gentleman asked about the TOEIC test and how to minimize like cheating for the listening activities. So the same thing applies here. Like having if you're going to give them a test, a serious test, the best way to do it is in front of the camera. Just set up online chat, mute everybody's microphone, and you just can observe them, you know, just like you would in the classroom. You can just observe them through the webcam. This is what Google does with their assessments for their certificates. They have they have the webcam on, and the students are doing the test in front of the webcam.
Okay. Oh, I missed that point. Okay, so you suggest me to hold a face-to-face test?
Yes, just through some kind of platform like Zoom or something like that.
Okay, okay. And I also need to, because this place is a bit, it's a remote area. It's not in the center of the city, and some of the students are not really familiar with Zoom applications. And when they downloaded the application, and then for 40 minutes, it was just cut, and then the learning process stopped. And then, well, I think it's
technical problem. Yeah.
yeah. It's one of the negativities, but we have many other ways to handle or to solve the problem. Well, thank you, Sir John.
You're very welcome.
You just gave some new insight for my teaching way. Thank you.
Good luck with your teaching.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss, which I don't know whose name, Miss.
You can call me Chitra.
Okay, Miss Chitra. Thank you
Miss
very much, Miss Chitra. And here we also have Mr. Dana. He is actually do not find the raise hand feature, but he wants to ask you a question.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Danang Hasto Aji.
Hello, Mr. Dana.
Hello. Yes. Should I turn off my video?
Yes, for sure.
Please.
Please, we would like to see you.
I want to see your smiling face.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Good, and you?
Quite well, thank you.
Okay. So actually, I'm not Indonesian. Actually, I'm not English teacher. That's why I'm a bit shy, because I'm afraid that my English is not quite good for you.
Sounds good to me.
So actually, my question is already written in the chat box. So actually, I had been attending this session 3 times with today, and I would like to know.
Foto? Ada video dah? Ada video aja.
I hear another voice. Okay. So my question is, to get this features, so what should I buy actually as a teacher or as language school? The books or the access to Classbox?
We sell them both ways. If you buy the books, you get access to the Classbox as well. Or you can buy, if you don't want to buy the physical book, you can also buy just the code for unlocking Classbox itself, just the platform. So both of those things, you can talk to people at Mentari about that.
Okay, it means I need to buy. I need to buy both of them, right? The access and also the book.
Not both, either.
Oh, either.
Yes.
But if I need both of them, then I need to buy both of them.
No, you can buy the book and then you automatically get Classbox, or you can buy just Classbox by itself.
Okay, so it's clear now. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Danang. And well, since it's almost time, I have to end the Q&A session, Mr. John. So, but don't worry, if the participants still have any question, you can deliver your question or idea to the written email and WhatsApp number on the screen after this. And thank you very much, Mr. John. Hopefully by this session, the participants are enlightened and have our mind refreshed, especially for digital learning for online courses, English courses, I'm sorry. And now I am going to share the information about e-certificate. So please kindly spend 3 minutes to fill in our feedback online form. The link and the QR code are displayed on the screen, and it will be also shared in the chat room and also in the group WhatsApp. And this is very important. Please access the online form and make sure to fill it very carefully, especially on your full name and active email address. This data will be used for your e-certificate. You will have your certificate delivered to your email only after you submit the feedback form. Baik, Bapak Ibu, silakan bisa mengakses link yang tertera di layar, yaitu link untuk umpan balik online. Silakan diisi dan mohon dipastikan agar penulisan nama, termasuk huruf kapitalnya, penulisan nama lengkap harus sesuai dan tentu saja dituliskan dengan benar, karena hal ini akan menjadi data sertifikat elektronik yang akan Bapak Ibu terima ketika sudah submit online form ini. Silahkan Bapak Ibu bisa mengisinya sekarang. Apabila ada pertanyaan ataupun kendala, bisa hubungi kami melalui chat room ataupun raise hand ya. Silakan. participants submitting their feedback form online. And so thank you very much for your feedback, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a good contribution for us in improving our quality and also to serve you better in the future. Now, educators, let's have a photo session together. So please turn on the camera or video so we can show our happy faces on this photo session, and my colleague will help me lead the photo session. Please, Mas Ludi, kindly help us. Masih di mute, Mas Ludi.
Oke, boleh tolong diaktifkan kameranya Bapak Ibu. Oke, Siap-siap ya, saya ambil fotonya Bapak Ibu. Ini ada 5 kali saya mungkin ambil karena pesertanya banyak. Oke,
kita
yang
ganti-ganti
grid pertama.
pose ya.
Ayo gayanya, boleh semua? Yuk, 1, 2. Oke, kita lanjut ke yang berikutnya.
Ganti pose.
Yuk, ganti gaya. 1, 2. Oke. Lanjutnya. 1, 2. Oke. Lagi. 1, 2. Yang terakhir, Bapak Ibu.
Saya sampai bingung nih mau pose apa lagi.
1, 2. Oke. Sudah semua Kak Ocha, silakan.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Mas Dudi atas bantuannya. And the photos will be sent to the WhatsApp group ya, Bapak Ibu. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share some updates from Mentari Group. The first one is the PowerPoint file will be sent to the WhatsApp group, and you can also rewatch today's session video on Hadir.U YouTube account. The link will also be sent to the WhatsApp group. So please kindly check later today. And also about our new platforms. The first one, we have Hadir.U. We provide Hadir.U site to everyone to register for Mentari Group's events, both face-to-face and live streaming. Also, through Hadir.U, you can create your own event. Kindly visit www.hadir.u.id regularly to check our event updates, or if you want to have a partnership, please contact our team. And we also have Mau Pintar. It's an online learning platform that provides a lot of learning videos that can be accessed every day by students or even educators to have inspiration for teaching ideas. And one of the current events is Mentari Tutor Online for students learning with the best of Mentari Group's tutors. Currently, we have classes for maths and English subjects. So please kindly visit www.maupintar.id to access the online learning platform. Well, educators, it's the end of today's session. Hopefully, this session can provide a lot of information and ideas for the teaching development, especially in the current condition. On behalf of Mentari Group, we would like to thank you all and hope to see you all in the next training. Stay healthy and have a nice day.
Insan Mentari, hai ini waktumu mengabdi bangsa lewat pendidikan. Berangkat dari visi misi luhur, kami datang untuk membangun negeri, berani bermimpi dan terus berkreasi, mau dan sanggup menjadi yang terbaik, cakap cepat cerdas selai, itu adalah kami, bergarap terbaik, itulah nafas kami, untuk Indonesia kami berkarya, bangun pendidikan, majukan bangsa.
if I move the angle B, you see here. Okay, I will stop.
Kita akan belajar matematika dengan topik luas dan juga keliling. Bantu Kak Hijri untuk mencari panjangnya berapa dan lebarnya berapa. Dengan menggunakan apa ini namanya?
Penggaris.
Ya, benar, penggaris. Oh, karena ini keliling, jadi cara mengerjakannya adalah
2 kali panjang tambah lebar.
Keliling sama dengan
Terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu sudah diperkenankan untuk meninggalkan ruang Zoom ini. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa.